This is Eric Martin between periods 1 and 2 at Madison Square Garden. I want you to stay tuned for between periods 2 and 3 to see my guests, Daryl Stanley and Dave Brown of the Philadelphia Flyers. They'll be with me between the second and third period right here on your cable station. This is between second and third period action, Mid-Hudson High School hockey playoff action. I'm sitting here and beneath the depths of Madison Square Garden talking with Dave Brown and Daryl Stanley of the Philadelphia Flyers. Dave's from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, 6'5", 205 pounds. Flyers 7th choice, 40th overall in the 1982 entry draft. Daryl was signed as a free agent by Philadelphia, I believe also in 1982, was it?
That was 1980.
1980. Signed as a free agent by the Philadelphia Flyers and has gone through the ranks, as has Dave. Gentlemen, I guess the first thing I want to ask you pretty much is how you got started in hockey, when you started to play, and we'll go from there.
I think both of us, when we started playing hockey, we're both from the prairies out in Canada, and usually in the winter, that's about all you do is play hockey or you curl or something. So I guess that was my choice. I started playing hockey when I was about 8 years old.
Mm-hmm. Dave?
Well, like Daryl said, ever since you're little, you play hockey, and I think, the first real start I got was playing. I got drafted by the Flyers, and but every kid always played hockey when they were little, and they just worked their way up, and that's how you get here.
Okay, what would you guys recommend to a kid, saying playing high school hockey in the United States? How could he further his career? I mean, you in Canada, you have the juniors. Can a kid from the United States play in the juniors in Canada?
Yeah, they could. There's a lot of different ways you can do it now, because I think the hockey in the States is starting to develop more. A kid from the States could go to college, or if he was interested in going up to the juniors, he'd have to go up and make a team in that. But there's a good possibility that he could play up there.
Mm-hmm. Daryl, I guess you're known more as a physical player, as is Dave. Both play a physical kind of game. I guess they kind of frown upon that in the United States, or fighting is not allowed and things like that. Do you feel the physical part of the game is something essential?
Well, I think it's a big part on, each team has their guys that play that way, and I think, myself, individually, ever since I was young, I always played that kind of style of game, and, that's what got me here to the NHL. I don't think I'm considered, I go out and I play the body and that, and I just play the way that, I got drafted, I got signed to play. I just go out there and work hard, and I think you're never going to see, ever since, Gordie Howe and them played, they always played rough and that, and back then, and I don't think you're ever going to see the aggressive part of the game just discontinue. I think it's always going to be there.
Do you feel the advent of the rule, new players in the league must wear helmets? And I guess in the States, kids have to wear face masks. Do you think that's going to help things along, or do you think do you guys feel stick work will increase with with everybody wearing face masks and helmets, Dave?
I think the sticks are up a little more with the face masks on. It's not as bad, just with wearing the helmets, and I think that you need a helmet really well. Anybody that didn't wear one, I guess, might disagree with me, but I myself have been saved a few times wearing the helmet. But I think the face masks, I don't know, maybe for the little kids, but when they start getting older and that, I think the sticks tend to come up more when they are wearing the masks and that. So, I think when they get older, I think it'd be a good thing to take it out, but, there's a lot of people that could disagree with me on that point.
And Daryl, how do you feel about helmets and face masks?
Well, I think the helmet's a great idea. As towards a face mask, I can't really say, because I never had to use a face mask, but as I've seen, watching younger kids playing that, just like Dave said, I think they have the tendencies to get the stick up a little high, and I don't know, I don't think you'll ever see the face mask in the NHL.
Okay. Change the subject a little bit. How do you guys, do you have any recommendation, let's say, to some young kids? What did you guys do to make it to the big time, make it to the NHL? Is there something special, physically, mentally prepare yourself, or what exactly do you have to do?
Well, I think you look at each kid, it's different. A lot of kids are blessed with just natural talent, but I think the biggest part is hard work. You know, you might have a kid that he might have all the talent in the world, and you might have another kid that might not be as talented, but the other kid might make it because he worked harder for it, and I think that's a big part.
All right. Do you feel it's, I mean, is it a God-given talent? Is it something you can develop if you don't have it at a very young age?
Yeah, I think you can develop it. You know, like Daryl said, not everybody's gifted with that. Whole thing is, if you really want to play there bad enough, I guess you're going to play there. So you know, if you don't have all the tools and that to do it, you got to work hard to get them. But the biggest thing is, if you really want to play there, you're going to make it. And just like me, I'm not a real good skater in that, but I guess I wanted it bad enough, and I'm here now.
Yeah. Was it tough on you guys when you played in the juniors? I know you must have been like 16, 17 when you started out. Is it tough, like leaving home at that age, to venture into something like that, Dave?
Well, I only played 1 year in the juniors, and I think Daryl could probably answer that better. But you know, when I was young and that, I was looking forward to going away and trying to, you know, further it, and it was just a step trying to make it up here. I don't think it was tough. You know, it was I had a lot of fun in that going away. I guess getting away from home and that, and you know, I guess if you got to go away to get a little further, I guess you got to do it. And that there was no problem going away from home.
Hey, Daryl, how did you feel about it?
Well, I think if I had to do it over again, I left home when I was 15, and I was 1,500 miles away from home. And when I got out there, I wondered, holy mackerel, what am I doing this far? But I think if I had to do it over again, like I would have stayed home and finished my high school there, and you know, then I would have went out and played, because like now the draft is they're drafting kids 17 years old and that, and you know, I think you can play at home, and if you're good enough, you're going to get noticed.
Okay, one other thing I wanted to get into is maybe some high school players might like to know the answer to this question. What do professional hockey players do the day of a game to prepare for a game? Dave?
Well, usually we go out and have a pregame skate, you know, whether we're at home or away, depending on our schedule. You know, if we're playing a lot of games, possibly we just have a meeting, but in the morning we go out for a light skate, and then probably go home. I like to eat a meal about 1:30, 2 o'clock, and then have a sleep for a couple hours, so we get to the rink about, if it's 7:30 game, we get there about 5:15, prepare for the game, and then the game at 7:30. So it kind of takes up your whole day.
Yeah, is it tough getting mentally prepared for an 80-game season?
I don't think so. You know, each team's different. You gotta. I think it starts too the night before. Usually at home, you kind of know who you're playing, and you got to know each team you play different. You know, so I don't think it's tough. You know, the guys got to be ready, because you know, that's like a guy goes to work the next day. We go to work to play hockey, so it's your job. You got to be ready to play.
Well, it just seems sometimes a good team will play I won't mention any team names, but you're playing a team below 500, let's say, and it just seems that they let up, and that team does well. Is it something that you did or they did, or is it, what causes that?
Well, I guess in the back of your mind, you might let up on a team that isn't as good as your team. I think that's kind of a bad attitude, because any team could knock you off on a good night, and that's why you got to be ready for each game. So I think any team that you go in to play, you can't take lightly, or else they could come out and beat you. So I think every team, you got to be ready for the same way in that. And if you're not, sometimes it can happen that a team that isn't as good as your team, they could be better that night.
Yeah, I guess you have a distinction of leading the American Hockey League in penalty minutes in 1982-83 with 418. Is that a record you'd like to comment on?
Well, it was, like I say, you got to do different things to get up where you got to go, and I didn't skate that well, and it helped my team. It helped my team last year, and if it's going to help your team, it's good to do. I think this year, when I was playing there, it gave me a lot more room, and I got to move the puck. I didn't have near as many penalty minutes this year, and I scored double the points that I had all at the end of the last year. And so, you know, it helped me out that way. And I think even when I come up here, you know, people know who you are and that, and possibly get a little bit more room.
I've heard Dan Kelly on USA Cable Network, and it said, quote, you don't mess around with Dave Brown. So I guess you do have a good reputation. I know Daryl's got a good reputation, too, based upon the other players I've spoken to. But, gentlemen, I want to thank you both for appearing on a Between Period show. We have a little gift for you over there, if I can get my cameraman, Greg. This is a little tough, ladies and gentlemen. I have a shirt for each one of you on behalf of Brickyard Hill Video. Get a shot, David. Mid-Hudson Hockey shirt, and one for Daryl. And I want to thank both you guys for appearing on the show. Dave, best of luck in your future careers, and best of luck. I hope you're with the Flyers for a long time. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'll turn things now back up to Greg in the booth. Greg?